Is this thing on? Into the ocean and more exhausted than two astronauts in space for 9 months.
9 months. Just
9
the two
months.
of us.
It feels like it, doesn't it? It feels like it. The sole survivors of the ship Nostromo. We're here. We are here.
We are here for you, Uncensored.
Yeah, for the people that watch it whenever. And I know there's people watching, so if you're watching, hi, thank you. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. We love you. It's just me and V tonight. Today, wherever you are in the world, we're here. We're here to talk.
Yeah.
What do they do? What was it? Decompress. We're reacclimating to the atmosphere.
I don't know if there's enough decompression in my world for what's going on today.
You don't think? Oh, that's all right. Mate, space does a rough job on you after 9 months, doesn't it? Those astronauts are looking rough. First of all, they were supposed to be up there for a week. 9 months later, that's like the worst.
Well, Soonie was gone grey. I bet you she missed a few hair appointments.
Yeah, she's seen some shit, man. She's seen some shit in that space. Hi, Joe. How are you? Yeah, she's seen some shit. She's like, whatever.
I'm so glad to be down.
I know.
She's probably got to feel like 1 billion pounds, like her body, that their bodies can't move.
But I don't know.
You know, the effects of gravity have suddenly come crashing down on you. You've been out in a zero gravity environment for so long.
Yeah, I just imagine how this is probably a bit graphic, but imagine the first gravity poop after having to chase it around in space for 17,000 years. It's like, it must be a relief to have that bit of gravity to shoot you down. Yeah, I don't know. There's worse reactions to have. I don't know, Vera. Did you see the Mariah Carey tribute?
I did not.
I think Mariah wishes she didn't see it as well, judging by the look on her face. I'm just going to get this picture up.
Oh my! So the woman behind her looks like she's at a religious revival meeting. She's about to see Jesus.
She's at Hillsong, and Mariah's like terrified about life.
It's like, thank God I can only see out of one eye.
That's my facial expression for the last couple of weeks is Mariah. Although Tori Kelly, she wasn't impressed with Money Long, but Tori Kelly kind of smashed Always Be My Baby. I was like, but Tori Kelly can sing like a mofo, so we expect that from Tori.
Right.
She's a singer. And I had to share it because I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah. I didn't even, when was it on? Is it streaming?
It's only a couple of days ago, I think. I think it was not, I don't think it's some award ceremony. Billboard? No. Billboard Radio.
Oh, you know what? It wasn't the iHeartRadio?
Yeah, iHeartRadio. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch it this year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because who are these people? Sometimes it's a bit like, oh, I don't know who that one is, or who that one is, or who that one is.
Well, there's always iHeartRadio. You've always got a Taylor Swift event.
Yeah.
Up sighting.
Well, this is her first sighting in a long time.
Well, since the tour ended.
Yeah, she's been in the social media
blackout
wastelands, I guess you would call it, and everyone's expecting something to happen. It's just like, no, she's just me and Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Just me and Taylor doing Taylor things.
Yeah, she's hanging out with her kitties.
Why not? Go for crazy.
Yeah. Hey, look at my manicure.
I was about to say, what have you been up to? Hold on, let's get a close up
This
on the
is
nails.
yes. Dia took
Oh,
me to the spa for a mani pedi for my birthday.
fancy.
Yeah, so it was very nice.
See?
Got pampered for a little bit.
That's always nice. I
I
don't know.
know.
I'm not very much about the massage and stuff, so it stresses me out. I'm like,
Oh, I
don't
love a good
touch me.
massage. My
Don't
favorite
touch
is
me.
a facial, though. It's like I feel
Oh.
like so young after a facial.
You feel like to me more.
Everything is tight and
She's got the
pulled up
substance
and
flowing
plumped
through
and
her.
hydrated and
Not
scrubbed and
hydrated. Can I tell? Actually, can I, speaking as you know, went to the doctors last week. I had to go back this week. Okay, cool, no worries. Had a blood test right last, and
hmm
then got the results, and she just goes, "I'll come back on Wednesday." I'm like, okay, cool, no worries. I came back on Wednesday. I'm like, what am I here for? She goes, okay, well, let's just check this and this. I'm like, okay, cheers. So go get another blood test. I'm like, wait, another blood test? Okay, cool. Had another, had another blood test, and then she goes, all right, I'll get the results tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'm dying. That's cool. Good to know. Like, come back, come back tomorrow. I'm like, okay,
You're
cool. I'll
not dying.
come back tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. I sat in the waiting room for nearly an hour waiting for my appointment before
Oh,
I
that would
got
have
up and
pissed
went,
me off.
I have to leave. And then, literally, as I was about to leave, she opens the door and she said, I'll come in. Well, okay, cool. She goes, oh, yeah, things have improved a little bit, but not a lot. I'm like, that's because I had a blood test 4 days ago and another blood test yesterday, bitch. Like, how quickly does the human body work? I know that, like, they're miracles and stuff, but not all the time.
Yeah, not in 3 days. You're not going to change
And then,
that kind of
yeah. And then she hands me
level in 3 days.
She hands me a sample jar. She goes, "Oh, we just need to do it." I said, "Not today. We don't. See you later. I gotta go. If I'm not dying, this can wait." Like,
Right. I've been
I
here
don't
for an
know.
hour. I got stuff to do.
Do people? I don't know. I just because I haven't been regular at the doctor for many many years until last year when I started my little let's jab ourselves journey, and people just love spending time at the doctors because I was like, who needs to go 3 times in 2 weeks? Unless I've got some kind of like mass
Yeah, that's pretty
face.
excessive.
I'm like, I didn't have to pay yesterday, so it was good. I was like, I'm out. I'm
And my
going. See
provider
you
is
later.
very cautious.
I'm just like, come
She is
on,
a nervous
fellas.
Nelly. She does not want to miss any T's. She doesn't want to miss. She crosses every T and dots
Crosses all the
every
T's
I.
and
And
dots those I's. Yeah. Well, look, I appreciate the due diligence, but this lady isn't my regular doctor either. My regular doctor were like, "Yep, sit, chat, do the thing. Okay, cool. Come back in a month. Yep,
well, I
cool, no
think
worries."
3 days is excessive. I think, yeah, come
Right?
back in a month. Come back in a
For a
month.
blood for
You
for
know,
bloods to
especially
change. I
right
don't.
for a blood level to change, for a diet change. You know, you need to add this to your diet. You need to take this away. You need to
I'll
whatever
eat
the
more. No,
instructions.
eat more is the suggestion. I'm like,
Right, whatever the suggestions were, you're going to need more than 3 days to see a result. You know.
I must say, the lady that did my last blood test, beautiful. Didn't even feel it.
Oh, I
She's a
never get
queen.
that. I always get big, huge hematomas,
She's a queen. I was like, thank you. She goes, oh,
that's
nice vein. I went, thank
bruises. It's
you.
like I look like Donald Trump or Mitch McConnell.
Or the queen, you know.
But she's dead now.
Yeah, remember she had that
Yeah.
huge bruise on her hand, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's not good." And then she died like 3 days later. We were
Well, the
hopeful the
old
same would
you get
happen,
your
but
veins get friable, which
yeah,
is
well, we're all friable and pliable. That's hard to say. Friable and pliable.
I'm I'm
Mm.
I'm I'm putting my money on the friable veins and arteries.
Just a happy little pop one day, and everything's all over.
Come on, carotid.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it.
You know you're just held together with McDonald's sludge.
And ketchup and Diet Coke, you know. 'Tis the American way.
Yeah.
To quote Sam the Eagle. He's amazing. We love Sam the Eagle. But we also love going through other people's, well, mainly celebrities, drama and ixnays. So we're going to jump into this week.
Hot load of hot topics.
What was that? Has it been there forever? That little sound?
Always, no one pays attention, I swear. That squirt has been there forever.
Caught that.
Well, someone caught it. That's the point. Our favorite Vera and favorite Vera. Oh my god, I can't speak today. I'm having a small stroke on air.
On air. Oh, maybe you should have waited for that urine test.
I know, right? Our favorite Vera and Katrina collaboration. Oh my god, I really cannot speak today. At least it'll be a funny stroke. So Vera, I don't know if this made news over where you are, but an American has come over and upset Australians. Huge surprise.
Uh-oh. Oh, yes, this did make news.
Sam Jones, the Wombat Warrior.
Yes. You know, come on, Americans. Do we have to be stupid every fucking minute we're abroad?
Well, look.
Come on. It's a fucking wild animal. It's like the idiot who tried to pet a moose and got chased.
Yeah,
you know? Or the dumbass who got stopped by a buffalo. They're not pets.
So for our listeners, let's just kind of recap. We had a bit of scandal erupt here in Australia and America, obviously, after quote-unquote influencer Sam Jones shared a video of herself grabbing a baby wombat from the side of the road while its panicked mother frantically chased after her. This is all on film. I caught a baby wombat, she says. Obviously. So the animal was like in distress, visibly. If you haven't seen it, it was plastered all over the news.
Yeah, so I mean, the thing was crying. Its mother was getting freaked.
Its mother was pissed.
Yeah.
So she's in trouble now because it is actually a federal offence to interfere with wildlife here in Australia.
Oh well, it's you know what? It's not that good a thing to do here. I don't know if it's a federal offence, but.
Yeah, she claimed that she only picked the baby up because she feared it was sick. But
really, because it looked sick when it was squealing in terror.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. But she's also used this drama to not only excuse herself of her piss poor actions, but fire back at Australia. So this is part of the lengthy social media post that she put up. I have done a great deal of reflection on this situation. I've realized that I did not handle this situation as best I should have.
Oh, you think?
She, however, firmly rejected the accusations that the stunt was done for social media clout, stating this was never about social media or getting likes. This was not staged, nor was it done for entertainment. Why do you have a camera out then?
Yeah. Really?
Why do you?
If you thought it was sick,
why do you have a camera out?
You didn't once say, "Oh, I think it's sick," or "Does it look sick?" Yeah, bullshit. I'm right there with you, Joe.
Why would you post it after all that? Like, if it wasn't for any kind of social media interaction or clout, why film it? Why post it?
And if you thought the animal was in trouble, why wouldn't you contact a park ranger or a wildlife expert or a local law authority? You know?
So, yeah.
Somebody who knew where to take an animal who might be in distress.
Or to assess an animal correctly and handle an animal correctly. Because, as Joe pointed out on the article, the way she's actually holding that baby wombat probably injured it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know that much about wombats, but
so
it certainly sounded like it could have been in pain. It was definitely in distress.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. You used to do wildlife rescue, so Joe knows these things. Joe knows these things, and she was like very fired up in the comments of our article. It's just Yeah, she then basically attacked Australians and went because of claiming government sanctions on the killing of wombats and other animals. So we do have, here's Joe's response from the actual thing. As a wildlife carer specializing in wombats, I'm livid about this stupid POS. You don't pick up a wombat like that for starters. She's probably injured its shoulders, but she is right about how the wildlife is treated in Australia. So I just admit that you've done a shitty thing.
Right.
Is my
Take
thing.
a little accountability,
There we go. Joe runs a wildlife shelter specializing in wombats, so she's the lady to tell us. You don't. It's like when people go and do stupid shit at historical places, or
once again, American idiots went to the Holocaust Museum and danced on the graves.
See, they should reopen the chambers for that. That's so fucking disrespectful. Add another fucking pair of shoes to the pile for that fuckwit. I don't understand the need for controversy to fuel your social. If you're not interesting enough on social media, then you won't have the followers. You don't need to endanger wildlife yourself. Imagine if she got attacked by something,
right?
From picking it up.
What if I don't know anything about wombats, but what if it was rabid? A lot of
rabies. We don't have rabies over here.
Yeah, we have rabies. We have a lot of rabies over here.
We
you have chlamydia. The koalas have chlamydia.
Our koalas are full of chlamydia, but that's okay. It's not rabies. It ain't rabies. It's a sad.
But
I think it's a sad indictment.
Did this idiot know that they don't have rabies in Australia? Probably not.
And from what I've learned, Sam Jones says that she's a hunter. So why are we taking advice on wildlife and native wildlife and preservation from a hunter? I don't understand.
Oh my goodness, we're not going to be alone. It's Luke.
There's a transmission.
Sorry, kids.
That's okay.
I didn't realise that the time difference had stopped again with your daylight savings fee.
See, it wasn't me.
It
was Luke this year. Welcome. We were just talking about Sam Jones, the Wombat Warrior. Do you have a feeling on Sam?
Look, I think the outrage is a little excessive. I mean, she's an idiot, but aren't most people who do these kind of things she's
I can assure you 100%, if I were in your country, I would not be picking up wombats.
No, well, you just wouldn't do it though, because you'd have empathy for a creature that it's not aggressive creature.
Right.
Why would you do that? You bullied it. It's tacky and she's trashy. But I do think the outrage that she copped, death threats and stuff, that's just ridiculous too. That's more ridiculous than her behavior. So
we are a world of extremes these days.
Absolutely.
You can't be wrong. You have to be completely wrong.
You have to be burnt at the stake again.
Right.
I prefer medium rare to rare.
Oh, do you love the side of Diane? The side of Diane?
Mushroom sauce, please. No, not wombat steak. I would need a wombat.
Wasn't that some of her rebuttal though too? Was there's legalized culling of wombats and kangaroos and things like that.
Yeah. There you go. Wait, Joe says. So for Luke, you kind of missed out. Joe, who is a regular commenter, who is Celtic Dragon Paranormal Investigations, is a wildlife carer specializing in wombats. So she says, they are aggressive. I have some awesome scars from wombat bites. That's awesome.
Consider me schooled, Joe, because the ones I've always, obviously the ones at the zoo have been, domesticated as well, and they're just, lethargic. I feel like it's my spirit animal. Yeah. Well, no, they're just, because they're nocturnal, they, whenever you go there, they're just very sleepy and don't really give a crap about people, but they're ones that see people every day. So
yeah, they're over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That would nothing to do with the
there's
shenanigans.
a lot of that. There's a lot of that going around, isn't there?
Yes.
You know what? The wombat's face is very much this. I think Mariah's
I still think that woman behind her is getting ready to be raptured.
She's getting ready
she is getting ready to be raptured.
She's found Jesus.
She's going to heaven. She is.
Unlike the Beeb's been back in the news this week. Bit of concern from the fans. He posted this onto social media. I was always told that when I was a kid not to hate, but it made me feel like I wasn't allowed to have it, and so I didn't tell anyone that I've had it, which made me feel like I have been drowning, feeling unsafe to acknowledge it. I think we can only let hate go by first acknowledging it's there. How couldn't we feel hate from all of the hurt we have experienced? Very mysterious.
You know what? I don't know that I think it's that mysterious. I think if you don't, when you're young and you don't have the language to express abuse and you're just told, oh, get over it, you think that's normal. You don't understand that whatever's going on. And we suspect, given all that's going down with Diddy, that some pretty big shit went down with the Beeb. I'm going to give him some latitude. I think this is expressing some post-traumatic stress.
I know, but I feel for him. I feel for him very deeply. I am. If something happened, and it's very likely that it did happen, I feel for him, and I'm hoping that he gets the help he needs, which is pretty much not. It's obvious he's not at the moment from what he's been doing on social media. But I guess he doesn't want to engage in specifics, but it's like there's people that get on Facebook and whatnot and go, some people have these, attention.
Yes, all that vague booking, right?
It's like, oh, and then everyone's like, are you okay, babe? It's like,
yeah,
no.
It's
like,
what's going on, dolls?
Say what you mean. Just say what you mean. That's all I need from people is to say what they mean. And
look, it's something that comes with maturity, though, too. Like, I look back to the person I was in my 20s and even early 30s to who I am now. It comes with being confident in your beliefs and how your values. And if you don't have that, you're actually very vulnerable to people exploiting you. I'm probably a little bit too much the other way now, where I will always say exactly what's in my mind. And some people find that offensive. But you know what? I don't gossip about people behind their back. They know exactly how I feel about them to their face. I don't resent or hold on to things anymore. I just get it out, get it done. But, do it respectfully too. You don't have to be a trash, awful person to express your dislike of something or your disagreements.
And I get that, I do. But as someone who came into my power a little later, without going into my childhood trauma, I was in my 30s before I was able to put pieces together coherently, and I certainly was never raised with the language to talk about the trauma or to even the permission to talk about the trauma. So, I mean, I have a little empathy for that. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we don't know what he's been through, and he probably.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
We don't know, so the fans want to support him. That I think the whole world's actually on his side. It's just we don't. It's hard to help someone when you don't know how to help them because they can't tell you how to help them.
Right, and he probably doesn't have the words yet. Maybe he's struggling for it.
But he knows there's something going on.
Certainly, it sounds like it's causing him some pain.
I think the whole Hillsong of it all, because he was so tightly intertwined with Hillsong, and that's a very, don't talk about it kind of church. That's how they roll. He's broken away from that, but I don't know that the people around him, i.e. his wife, are the best influence on someone that needs help healing from trauma when she's more worried about being famous. Controversial. Controversial, I know. But if this is all, and we can only speak in ifs and whatnots.
She is a
If
Baldwin.
it is related to the Diddy thing, I hope that he finds the strength to step forward and, nail Diddy to the wall. What was done. And there are plenty of rumors out there as to Diddy and Justin Bieber and the involvement in it, and it's not kosher stuff. I don't really want to go into it here because it is quite distressing. So if you do want to go and find that information, it's out there, but it's all allegations at this point because no one's going to step forward.
But once again, that was what I was sort of alluding to earlier with my little rant that I got sidetracked in, was that somebody who is raised in an institution where they're told to mind their P's and Q's and be a good little boy, don't say anything bad, that makes them very vulnerable to predators.
Yeah, it does. It does, of course. Well, look at
they're not world smart at all because they've been
Church.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't say anything because that'll make you the dirty one. Like, it's almost like they're set up to be the perfect victim. So yeah. I hope that he does work through it and get to where he can be happy.
Obviously,
because he should be happy. I mean, he's so talented. He's very wealthy. Like, he has everything going for him. It's very disappointing. He's sad because of
and it's not just that. I think he's also because of he is not well. Like, obviously he's got some mental health stuff going on, but he's not physically well either. He has been diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome and Lyme disease. So it's not like he's 100% well and and always capable of especially Lyme disease. I think when you have a mental health issue, it must be even more frustrating when your body lets you down as well.
Look what
Who are we talking about?
Bieber. So I was just saying to Luke that he not only is he obviously going through his mental health struggles, but he's been diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome and Lyme disease. What is Ramsay-Hunt syndrome? Excuse my ignorance.
I don't know.
Okay.
As a licensed medical professional, I must say
you nurses are bloody useless.
I don't know.
It's obviously not something that we see very often.
Yeah, it's not common. Yeah. I mean, I know with Lyme disease, I'm Googling it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But with Lyme disease, there can be a host of after effects that go on for years.
Well, look at Shania Twain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said that.
With Shania Twain, Avril Lavigne has Lyme disease as well. And was knocked her around for a very long time.
Is that why Avril struggles to do like live performances?
No, Avril's all right. I don't know if you've seen Avril lately. Avril's back. Yeah, Avril's coming to Australia, Luke. I
do recall an interview. Do you remember when she was on Rove? And because then
back when she was like 16, or 15.
Yes. But I just found it so funny. She was just completely not interested in the interview at all. She was so interested in the koala. And she was like, he's asking her questions, and she's just like...
Australian wildlife will do it to you all the time. We love Australian wildlife.
Wombat warriors.
Koala.
All right, Ramsay-Hunt.
Yes.
It's a neurological disease caused by the herpes zoster, similar to shingles.
Oh.
It occurs in the face. It's very painful. Face, eyes, ears.
I should know this then because I work in that space. With
face, eyes, and ears for a musician and a performer.
Yeah. But it's not related to Lyme disease, according to this.
No, but he has both, so.
But Lyme disease can cause a lot of neurological impairments as well.
So I'm not like a major Bieber fan, but I'm gonna send my good vibes to Justin. I think he needs.
Yeah, I'm not any. I mean,
we all love the song, baby.
That's the only one I know.
That album. It was the anniversary of that album release. His first album release this week. Do you know when that album came out?
When? Well, I can probably get close to it.
2010.
Oh, 2010. I was going to say 2007.
14 years ago.
Oh,
14
old.
years. It's just
We're old.
we are getting old.
I remember when he came out. Like I was too old. I was not
Joe.
his. I was not his.
Not his demographic.
Yeah, it's the one. I was looking for that word.
I was trying to help you.
Yeah, no, you helped me out. I should probably preface me being, well, I'm also late into the show, but I'm currently on some painkillers and some antibiotics again because I got to get this tooth pulled out. My wisdom
Everyone's
tooth
rotting
has erupted.
from the inside out here.
I am. I'm decaying, and I'm like, like I have to do it, but now I have to wait for the infection to go down before I can get it pulled. So. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a little left turn because I would like your opinion on this, Luke, because speaking of demographics, this was definitely your demographic.
What?
And I posted this yesterday.
Double penetration?
No. The Power Rangers
Jesus.
are going back to Disney. So Disney have greenlit a new series of Power Rangers, a reboot of Power Rangers. How do you feel about that, sir, being the Power Rangers aficionado that you are?
Okay, can I say that I didn't like the new movie they did? I didn't like I got what they were trying to do is make it a little bit more adult and angsty and more teeny, like more aimed for teens. And it wasn't a terrible film at all. It just lacked that magic. Like you lacked the things that made the original great. And that was actually having real fights with your actual actors who can do their own stunts, or at least enough of them so you can't go, oh, there's the stunt double. Certainly not CGI fights. That I thought was really awful as well. Tacky. So I'm hoping if they do go back to this project, they look at what made the original. It was so simple and fun for kids that made it this huge phenomenon that it was, because it had all the ingredients that make it fun for kids. It had martial arts. It had, robots. It had explosions, had space aliens, like all those things that you would love. So don't try and overcomplicate it by like, oh, Kimberly's also having an abortion this episode. Like, don't make it all this crazy crap. Keep it simple. And you know what? You'll have an audience. People don't want to always tune in and go, oh, I want to see how Tommy's going with his drug addiction. Like, no. Trini's from a broken home. Oh, boo-hoo. Like, no.
Pop culture moment always has its detractors anyway. I remember when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first came out and the kids were going down in the sewers looking for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I remember when Power Rangers came on television, we got banned from playing Power Rangers in the schoolyard because people were kicking and punching each other. But it's just like...
But you know what? It goes back to kids always will play those kind of games. Like, kids play armies, kids play cowboys and Indians, even though it's probably not politically correct anymore. But there's always conflict is part of play as well. So you just got to teach your kids, hey, when you want to fight martial arts, you don't actually hit each other. You don't have to hurt each other.
Well, we were... We were very big on the sound effects, like Batman. Pow! Pop!
Pow! Shazam!
I could see you, Vera, perched up in the background while the boys are fighting. Meow!
No, Vera was doing...
No, I was a wee little thing then. that was I was like 3 or 4.
Still loved it.
That was all I liked. Was just the beginning.
Just that part.
Watching Michael Landon's tight.
Your relationship with children and an honest and an honest and thorough relationship with children is always good. Katie Seagal, TV's favorite, well, one of TV's favorite mums, Peg Bundy. Sons of Anarchy, all of the above. All of the above has revealed
Futurama.
Futurama. She got everything.
She's had quite a career, yeah.
She has quite, but people are focusing on her relationship with her children and her honest and straightforward talk.
Are people mad about it? I didn't catch that.
I don't know
really?
why this article. Well, this is the conversation I want to have. I don't know why people are so
very
obsessed.
wholesome if you acknowledge that your child's going to have sex. You've got to pretend it'll never happen and never tell them about it.
Okay.
Of course it'll happen.
Exactly.
I'd be more disappointed if it didn't.
Yeah. Let me just do the quotes from the article. So this is from Us Magazine that she had the info. I remember telling Sarah and Jackson, when you're old enough and you want to have sex, you need to tell me because we need to talk about it. Talk about getting protection. We need to talk about all of this stuff. When Jackson was 16 years old, he comes to me one day and said, "I'm ready, Mum." I wouldn't overload them. I do remember at one point, because this generation, which is different to mine, maybe it was your generation, boys and girls had sleepovers in high school. At least when my older two were in high school, sex was coming into the story much younger. It was like, okay, our kids are in the 11th grade and they have a boyfriend and a girlfriend and they want to explore things. For me, it was for me, that was the backseat of a car. I'm not sure that was the best place to be, even though it was kind of exciting, I must say. So I don't understand what the controversy is about giving your children valuable information.
Right. Don't you want your children to be protected?
Right. So, Mike, let's reflect on our own. Do you remember having the talk?
Nope. No. My
I had to
was
talk
very
with
much
my
that
mother when I was really young, and I didn't understand it till much, much later. The word she used just went zip, and I'm like, okay.
They do what?
I think there's a big.
I don't think I understood her right.
A big importance of giving them age-appropriate language and information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well. And yeah. I think I was very lucky. My parents were very forthcoming with all that kind of thing. The same when it came to drinking and drugs and all that thing. They were very, very honest and, gave me the information that I needed and were always like, if you do want to try X, Y, and Z, the only thing that I'm going to ask is that you do it at home, so I know. So
yeah.
I was allowed. We were drinking when we were 16, and living life because we were in our backyard and my parents could watch.
We were of the age when we started to get sex ed in school. So
we had it in school as well.
That's when Mom's weird little speech made sense.
Well, I think I didn't. I didn't need the talk with my mother because I had older brothers, so I already knew about stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But I was also. But then I was also a very late bloomer too. Like I was a virgin until I was 20, so I wasn't that preoccupied with sex either. I had my other interests. I liked to write. I was a nerd.
Yeah.
And so it just wasn't, can't wait to get into that. Like I was.
So Luke, it might not be the same. Well, we are of the same vintage. Did you not have in Year 7 the talk where they split the boys and the girls into two groups?
They didn't split us up. They talked to us all about everything all together.
They split us up. We were in separate rooms.
We got split up.
They had us all together. And I remember my friend Carrie Ann, when they were like, now we're going to talk about wet dreams. And I just remember the room was silent and then she's just like, and everyone lost it. So we were still so mature.
I will never forget the day because it was a rainy day when we had the talk. And of course, they gave everyone condoms and tampons.
I know, right?
So the main quad in the rain was just full of tampons. Just overly swelled tampons that people had thrown into puddles, and condoms were being used as water balloons. And it was like, you don't arm 13-year-olds with that kind of thing because it's never going to be good. People were colouring with marker on the tampons and throwing them at people. It was a whole big thing. You know,
red Nico on the end. Oh, it's you.
Yeah, that was nice. But I think, especially in the world today, where everything happens under a veil of secrecy, I think because of social media, and some parents don't monitor their children's social media, as we've discussed. I think it's really important that they have this information and that they're well prepared for whatever is going to come their way.
Yeah, and I'm hoping the sex ed is better now than what we got, Steve, because I remember we also had to cut out an erect penis. Like, that was part of the thing, was just cutting out pictures and cutting
that
out
was
like
not
a picture
part of ours.
of like the vagina, and it was like opened, sort of like it was a drawing, so it wasn't like graphic image.
Nope, we didn't have any imagery.
The clit and
Only
everything.
words.
We had to like cut them out. That was one of the activities. They cut out your penises and vaginas, kids. Like,
I can't relate to that one. Sadly.
There was no visuals. There was like a very amorphous diagram with only internal organs visible, no external. Yeah.
Cross section diagrams. Love a cross section diagram. But with all this nostalgia, I'm gonna a sad moment for millennials everywhere. Forever 21 is closing its doors.
Closing forever.
Forever.
Apparently, it's got to be 22 now.
No, it'll be forever 21 in life forever. But it took me back down a nostalgia path. What store or franchise do you miss? Now, I went straight away. My brain went straight away to physical media stores because I used to work in one. So, like your HMVs, your Virgin Mega stores, Sanity for Australians, and like Blockbuster Video and stuff.
But we still kind of got JB Hi-Fi though. JB Hi-Fi does all that physical media.
It's not what it used to be. You know what I mean? You used to be able to go into a music store and spend hours looking through stuff and finding your albums and finding your movies and all that kind of stuff, and it was a good time.
Then they had. Did your music store have listening booths where you could take
listening
something?
Stations, yes.
Yeah, you could take something you just found and pick it, hear it.
Just like have a little sample before you buy.
Yep. I just miss stores. It's like everybody's online. Physical stores have evaporated. It's like, I can't tell you how many times I've bought something online and I've had to return it because the picture did not
do it
look like that on me.
I work in retail still, and I say to people when they're looking at stuff and they're talking to me on the phone, come in, because I don't know what your color settings are like on your phone or on your laptop, or you know what I mean? So it may look one color online, but when you get to see it in physical form, it may be different. Size is like, how do you compare size if you're not like a math brain, spatial awareness?
And you're a huge size queen, aren't you, Steve?
I am a size queen, obviously. But I don't think you can go past being able to go into a store and physically touch the thing that you want to buy and go, okay.
And taking it into the dressing room and saying, oh, that's cut a little too high in the waist for me, or that's made for a woman with much bigger boobs, or I'm too short to pull this off. You need a chance to try it on.
Hey, Steve, did you used to have down in New South Wales the stores What's New? And it would just be the most random place. So I missed that one because you could go in there.
So it was like Spencer's Gifts, Vera. It would be
would
be the alternative
but you
in
get
America.
like really rare stuff. Like I remember I went in there once. There was like Batman Return stuff, and I'm like, But I enjoyed that store as a child, and I think they closed like probably late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, like at least 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago now.
I remember you could go to the mall and you could see 30 or 50 shops, and now even the big malls in the metropolitan areas are like 20 shops tops.
Exactly. You see all these abandoned malls and stuff, and it's just like,
Joe said, Vera, with trying on clothes, we need a gay man to tell us how it looks like. Yeah, we cut straight to the chase, girls. We do.
Not incorrect. Not incorrect. Not incorrect.
Not gonna argue.
But I did. It's just sad. I just like there. I think there's something to be said for going and being part of the process. Like we barter. Like this is not like it's thousands of years of tradition. Taking your wares to a marketplace and selling it and interacting, and now it's all just happening on screen. And I'm like, okay, we're all just kind of going to become Ted Kaczynski and just unibomb ourselves.
The world's changing. The world's changing.
Well,
for the better, for the worse,
It could change all. It could all change back next year.
Yeah, we never know.
We could have some revisions of fortune.
I was going to say we might be going to the markets, like where people have corn sitting in the back of a wheelbarrow,
bartering chickens for rutabagas and homemade hooch for dairy cows.
There is a bit of the past coming back to the present day. Finally, after all of the hullabaloo surrounding it, Disney's live remake of Snow White is hitting cinemas this week. Now, if you haven't been following the drama behind Snow White, it all centers around the stars Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, who pretty famously now do not get on well with each other. They are all smiles on the red carpet for the event, as you can see. But Page 6, which, is a pretty reputable magazine or website, because magazines don't exist anymore, reports the two stars are not friends and clash over politics. Obviously,
I was going to guess it was politics.
Rachel Zegler is an outspoken supporter of Palestine throughout the Hamas
Gal Gadot is a Zionist.
While Gal Gadot was born in Israel and served in the Israeli army and has been a vocal supporter of her country.
Do you reckon they'd ever have a lesbian experience together?
Well, I don't think so, because there was a lot made of their interaction at the Oscars as well.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, so they're very So Rachel has been copping it for forever, since she was basically announced to be the star, because Snow White is Latina, and that's upsetting to people,
right?
Racists will say, Snow White, she's not white. Okay, cool.
Black Mermaid, a Hispanic Snow White, her name is White.
But she copped it way back in 2022 when she was speaking about the focus on the love story. Rachel said, there's a big focus on the love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. I was scared of the original. I think I watched it once and never picked it up again.
I think her delivery of when she says things, though, can come across, especially like people who hold that original cartoon in high regard, and people get funny feelings about media and stuff. I think she does come across a little bit patronizing at times, and that's
Rachel?
probably yeah, she does, and I think that may be what pisses people off. Like for me, I'm just like, who cares? She's a young kid. She's a star. Let her just have her time and enjoy it.
Look, she's an immensely talented young woman. She can sing, she can dance, she can act. She's amazing in everything that I've seen her in. I just don't think she is of the generation that is the shiny, everything's fine, media trained celebrity.
Right, but there also
having
is,
an opinion.
There is a shift in sensibility. There is some problems with those old cartoons.
Definitely.
They're problematic.
They're of their time. Yeah.
They are of their time.
Snow White and Sleeping Beauty is the kiss consent option.
Right.
Consent big kiss when they're
being held hostage and made clean up after 3 slobs because your dad died.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're problematic.
Holy crap.
But they went. So Disney went so far as to scale back the premiere of the movie, so that the only press that were there were Disney related press, and Rachel actually had something to say about that as well. So I think that Disney have not really hedged their bets on this girl, and they're like, well, she's the star of the movie. She's got to, because the biggest rumor was that they're going to pull this release. Like, they're never going to pull this movie. Like, it was never going to be
too much has gone into it. Yeah.
And you know what? The reviews are actually amazing. People are saying
I'm hoping to see it this weekend.
So I hope that the drama surrounding it, like, drama helps all the time. You know, drama always helps with selling tickets. So I'm hoping that it will help get through, get past, get, over it, all that kind of stuff.
Rachel's a 20-something. She honed her chops on Broadway. She's, been in movies since she was a teenager.
In that Hunger Games movie. Oh,
yeah, I mean, she
sang
her ass off in West Side Story. Yeah.
It's not like she doesn't have the chops.
She has the chops, but she's also of a generation where they speak their mind.
Yeah, and I guess a corporation like Disney, that's not always.
Well,
But they are going back to the well. Friday.
I can't imagine what this story is going to be.
No, there's 4 of them that all get swapped into each other's bodies this time. So it's not just Lindsay and Jamie swap it with each other; they swap with other people.
I think it's her kids. I think it's Lindsay's daughter and her
Lindsay's
best friend.
kid. Yeah. So they all swap bodies.
So like they're somehow caught in a time warp of sorts.
It was confusing. I need to watch the trailer again to get my head around that one.
But look, Lindsay looks amazing. Good on her. I'm sure this will do well. Also, this week, we had the release of the trailer for Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh.
Wow.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
Look bad, actually. I watched it before I was like, I don't know about this, but it looks like it's going to hit all the notes.
You know what the world needs?
It needs.
Well, speaking of hitting notes, it needs The Wedding Singer too.
I love The Wedding Singer. That is one of my top 10. If I'm scrolling through the TV and that is on, I will stop every time.
We needed part 2. Come on, Sandler.
Oh, do you know what we do need? I need your opinion on Bad Bunny.
It's fucking underwear, for God's sakes.
Now, the reason I bring this up, I posted this to our Facebook page, and we got
a community violation.
A community violation because of this photo of a photo.
He's very rootable, so maybe that's.
But I appealed it, and it got republished, so it's all good.
Oh, good. Because I was like,
I understand what the difference is between.
Well, we've had that before. Remember, it was Channing Tatum, and it was from his Instagram.
It's always male celebrities that we get flagged for. But
we must get reported by like some scrolling.
Nobody's offended by the bare naked women.
Yeah, exactly. You can see a woman with dental floss up her pooch, and it's all good. Two band-aids on her nipples, and that's all good. But heaven forbid you see a male chest.
You can post screenshots from the Turn Back Time music video, and there's no dramas.
But I think that Bad Bunny might help the Calvin sales going on. We're happy with that. I think.
I think he's a fine-looking man.
Nice
and Calvin Klein's always had those
Marky Mark,
sexy ads, Marky Mark,
all those.
Yeah.
It's David Beckham. They've all it's all the Calvins. I think we still do have this very weird reaction to when media sexualizes males.
Because I don't think a lot of men want to acknowledge that another male.
Well, we're still very puritanical, and men aren't supposed to be objectified. Only women are supposed to be objectified.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But I think it's interesting that you'll see, especially, I can't remember, I was watching a pretty famous comedian talking about how attractive another man is. It's like, he's a married guy. I'm just like, yeah.
You can tell when somebody's attractive, even if you're personally not sexually attractive.
Yeah.
To them.
Yeah, it's allowed.
And the key to me is like, because I'll do it all the time. I'll ask Trevor, I was like, do you think he's good looking? I don't know. I'm like, yes, you do. You know,
But, like,
you
it's
just
like,
don't.
You know.
I know when a female is attractive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know when there's a good looking girl. Like, just
Yeah,
because I'm not
me
interested in
too.
what
And
she's
it doesn't mean
selling.
I want to sleep with her.
hot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot, hot, evil stepmother. But that narrative is obviously going to help the movie, and
Yeah.
there's no way that it's going to fail. I mean, look, if they can get away with if they can get away with two of those fucking horrible Lion King movies with the dead-eyed animals staring into your soul and singing, they can get away with.
Simba, have you had a stroke?
Maybe. But there's always time for a little bit of pep in your step, a little bit of venom, a little bit of vitriol. Oh, not necessarily venom, just heat, right, Vera? It's just heat.
Some days it's such full-on hate you wouldn't believe it.
Well, look, we don't know what it's going to be, but it's always entertaining, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Vera Ver. Okay, Lady V, here we go. 3, 2, 1, then.
Oh my God, kids. What a fucking year it's been, and we're only in March. I can't get over what's going on in the world. So, of course, my least favorite president in the entire world is up to his usual tricks with his compadre and financier, Felonia Musk. And every day it's just lawlessness and hate and chaos, and it doesn't stop. And you're just like, fuck, dude, you're 78 years old. Take a goddamn break. But the thing that amazes me most about this entire 54 days, it hasn't been that fucking long, this entire 54 days, is that the people that love him are still so committed. And they're so ignorant. Last night, I was on TikTok and somebody reacted to a post I had made, and they were telling me that we aren't a democracy. We're a republic that uses democracy. And my reply was, every republic is by definition a democracy. Look it up. I promise I'm not lying to you. And I was flagged for a community violation. I was bullying this ignorant person who had no idea that the definition of republic is a form of democracy. Nope, it's republic. We're Republicans. We're right. And you Democrats are wrong. And you just need to leave our country because we're a republic. Are you kidding me? People, this is the result of 50 years of defunding education in this country. Donald Trump and all these horrible fucking ideas are not new. Ronald Reagan started all this shit in the 80s. I remember going to school and having the upperclassmen have home ec and band and Italian and German and French and Latin and 15 types of science and 30 types of gym. And then over time, every year, budget cuts. Nope, we're going to cut this. We're going to cut that. We can't teach Latin anymore. It's a dead language. We can't do this anymore. It's impractical. We can't afford women's sports because nobody cares about women's sports anyway. And this started in the 80s. And we've created generations of ignorant people who don't understand that this country is a democracy and don't feel any threat to the fact that it's going away. Pretty much gone. Donald Trump is blowing through norms every fucking day. He is ripping apart our government from the inside. He is not finding corruption. He's being corruption. They are cutting all these budgets to shreds so that they can privatize all these government services. And I lived through privatization. Okay? Reagan started it in the 80s. Like I said, Donald Trump's not a genius. These aren't new fucking ideas. They're just bad fucking ideas that have already been proven to not fucking work. Okay? Privatization is where you take something that should not be a for-profit service, like healthcare, like services for the disabled, like sports, like Social Security, and you privatize it so that a private industry, a businessman who's smarter than the government bureaucrats, can come in and start providing fewer services and paying the people who do the services less money and taking huge fucking profits from these services. No, these should be government run services. They should not be for profit. I'm sorry. No, the hedge fund managers don't get my Social Security because I don't trust them to not gamble away with something that's not their fucking money. It's not an entitlement. It's not some fucking gift from Donald Trump. It's my goddamn money that I have paid out of every fucking check I've ever earned since the time I was 14 fucking years old. Don't you dare try to take it away. I swear to God, if this goes down the way it looks like it's going to go down, there will be blood in the streets. It's ridiculous. The American people need to wake up and say, no, you can't touch our fucking services. This is our government, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, not the fucking billionaires, and not Elon Musk, who gets more money per day than any fucking other program. $8 million a day is paid into Elon Musk's businesses. $8 million a day. That could fund every fucking human service program in this country. Pay attention. Read a book. Read the fucking Constitution. It's not that goddamn hard. I know you people understand the Second Amendment. You throw it in my face all the time. But you know what you need to look at? Maybe the First Amendment, the one that's important, the one that says we have a right to redress our grievances. And we need to get out there and redress our grievances because I tell you,
That's Luke's eyebrows are singed, but that's all good.
There's
Sometimes you've got to release the pressure.
So there are. What's happened with the Department of Education too? Is it like being dialed back, or
it's another service they want to privatize? And people who should know about this, people who have children with disabilities, who don't understand that the funding that pays for those IEPs, the funding that pays for therapists in schools, the funding that pays for school psychologists, all comes from the Department of Ed. Not to mention all the student Pell Grants for disadvantaged children. You know, there's so much funding that the DOE oversees, and they're going to either privatize it or just fucking gut it so that we're generations of even stupider Americans who don't know enough to not vote for buffoons and billionaires thinking, oh, Elon Musk has my best interest in heart. He's looking for waste. No, he's the motherfucking waste. Oh.
Well, that's a very good segue because before we go, I would like to speak about releasing pressure and waste on this week.
What the?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's just sit through this one. An Air India flight had to return to Chicago after passengers clogged 11 of the plane's 12 toilets.
What?
Yes. All right. So a view. This is a good one. Last week, an Air India flight out of Chicago had to turn around after about 4.5 hours in the air. The reason, what turned out to be a 10-hour flight nowhere, passengers clogged 11 of the 12 onboard toilets. Reports state that the 11th toilet gave up as the flight from Chicago O'Hare to Delhi crossed over Greenland. With more than 9 hours left in the trip and only one functioning toilet in business class, they decided to head back to Chicago. The airline reported that once at the airport, 300 passengers and crew deplaned without any issues were provided with accommodation to minimize inconvenience. They also stated that arrangements were made to help the passengers reach their destination.
How did all these toilets get clogged?
I know.
As for the plane that sustained a barrage of toilet clogging dumps, it was grounded for 2 days for significant maintenance and cleaning before being able to return to operational use.
My gosh.
Yeah. That's a shitty holiday. Literally.
Like, but why? I don't understand. What were they shitting? Like,
who knows?
What is happening?
Knows?
Were they clogging the toilets with wombats? What?
Just dropping whole rolls of toilet paper down the...
Do you know what is happening, my friends? We are looking for brand new guest panelists to join us
for
here
Fesh
at
Faces.
What?
Is your face Fesh?
Sorry, I didn't see that earlier.
Faces. Oh, we are looking for Fesh Faces. So with opinions, not afraid to have some conversation, a good time, please hit us up in the inbox on any of our social medias if you are Fesh Faced and ready to talk with us. We have a few spare squares. So we would love you to join us if you're out there and think that you can hang.
Dave, stop trying to make Fesh happen.
I know, I can't stop making Fesh happen. But thank you for joining us, the lovely Luke and the vivacious Vera. I've been Steve. This has been UCR Live. We will be back next week. And of course, on Tuesday, we have an uncensored horror that is a plane-related uncensored horror. So, there is horror in the skies. I know. Till then, make sure you don't clog the toilets of life and flush away.
Read the Constitution.
Leave wombats alone. Leave wombats alone.
Read the fucking Constitution.
Bye, y'all.